Hello, hello. Hi everyone. How have you been? I hope you're all doing quite well. Happy New Year. Okay, first live of the year. Okay, and my name is Fabi. Okay, I'm an English teacher, and this is Exploring IELTS with Fabi. Okay, and I'm an English teacher. I help people get the score they need on the IELTS test by doing the test only once. All right. And today we will be talking about something that actually people have been talking about it for a while. Okay. But it's finally here. It's finally official, which is the One Skill Retake for the IELTS test. All right, so today we will be talking about that. Okay, so if you got my email, you know that yesterday I took part in a workshop only for teachers, a session only for teachers. Okay, telling us everything about the One Skill Retake. Okay, and I think this is a game changer. I've been thinking about it because people told me about it. And I was like, I wonder what it's gonna be like. But once I started thinking about it, it's going to be so helpful, guys. And it's even going to change the way you study a little bit, okay? And just imagine the amount of money you're going to save, okay? But we're going to talk about all of that, all right? So I have a list of the points that I'd like to talk to you today, okay? So if you have any questions, just pop the questions in and we will get going, okay? Yes, so let me see one thing. Okay, just 1 second. I just need to do one thing. Okay. Right, hello. Sorry guys, I had a problem. Yeah, okay. I think we're live now. I think we are live now. Okay, I had a problem. Maybe it's okay. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Hi everyone again, okay? My name is Fabi, okay? I'm an English teacher here in Australia and I help people with the IELTS test. Okie dokie, you had an issue there, but I think we are good now. Okie dokie, I think we're good. Let me just check a few things here just to make sure everyone has access to this information, all right? Okay, so yeah, so this is Exploring IELTS with Fabi with some technical difficulties, but let's get started. So my name is Fabi. I help people get the score they need on the IELTS test. I'm an English teacher. I teach at universities here in Australia, English colleges. I help people with private students with the IELTS test, okay? And today I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about the One Skill Retake for the IELTS test, okay? So people have been talking about it for a while now, and but this is finally official, okay? So it finally arrived. I actually got an email from IDP, which is one of the IELTS test centers here in Brisbane. And I got an email from them saying that it was official, that they were going to start. And they decided to share with some teachers, okay? So they invited some teachers to attend a session with all the information that we needed, okay, to tell you all about it, okay? And that's what I'm going to do today here, all right? Cool. So, with the so why they decided to do that, right, guys? So let's say, if you've taken the IELTS test, okay, the IELTS test, you have all the 4 skills, right? And sometimes we have one weakness, right? We are not very good at one part of the test. And unfortunately, if you don't get the score you need only in one part of the test, you end up not getting the score you need, right? And then you will have to do the full test again, right? So this has always been a problem. I've had students who needed the 7 in the writing part, okay? So they were getting 8 in speaking, 8 in listening, 8 in reading, 6.5 in writing. Okay, and unfortunately they had to do the full test again. So with this one, if that had been available in the past, the student would only be doing the writing again. Okay, and that would have been great, right? So at the moment, the only place where you can do it is in Melbourne, Australia. IDP Melbourne, Australia. Okay, however, in the next few weeks, it will be available in Adelaide and in Perth. And maybe in a month's time, Brisbane and Sydney. Okay, so if you're not in Australia, unfortunately, you will not have access to this right now. However, they are rolling it out pretty quickly, I think, and soon you will probably be able to do that. Okay, so even if you can't do it right now, it's very important for you to know. And during the session yesterday, some people actually mentioned the fact that some people are actually flying over to Melbourne just so they can do the test there, and if they don't get the score they need, they can take just one skill there. All right, so that's quite cool. Okay, so there are some people already doing that. Okay, so first of all, at the moment, only the computer-based is available, so you can take the one part of the test. Okay, guys, so if you are intending to do the IELTS test in paper, you will not be able to do it. Okay, and also, yeah, so they said that in the future they might be able to help you with that, but at the moment, just on the computer. All right, cool. And another thing that was one of the concerns was the fact that, okay, so let's say I do the full test, right? And then I don't get the score I need in writing, and then I wanna do just the writing part. Am I gonna do the test with people who are doing the full test? No. You will be there just with people retaking that part of the test. Okay, so if you do the test, okay, you do the test normally like everybody else, then you will do just that part. So if you decide to go and redo, you will do only that part with everyone else who and all the people who are only doing that part. Okay, so that's pretty cool too, because it would be very disruptive, right? If let's say so people are doing the full test and then one people come in just to do the reading again. So that's not like that. Okay, so they have been organizing in a way that everyone is resitting, redoing that part. Okay, so that's something that is pretty cool. Okay, and the thing is, right, so you go and you do the test, right, and you don't get the score you need in one part, and you want to redo the test. You have 60 days to redo the test. 60 days. Okay, so 61 days after, you cannot redo it. All right, guys, so you have 60 days for that, and you can only retake once. For each full test that you do, you have one retake. Okay, that doesn't make sense? Put it in the comments. Okay, if you have any questions, by the way, just put it in the comments. Because it can be a bit confused because it's so new, everything is so new, right? And oh yeah, and another thing that came up was the fact that we know that the IELTS test, they have an expiry date, right? And something I did not know is that it's not the IELTS institution that decides how long it expires for, is the institution you want to use the IELTS for. Okay, so for example, some institutions will tell you that most places will say, oh, the IELTS score is valid for 2 years, but some places will say 3. I didn't know that, right? But then when it comes to the retake, how does it work, right? So it expires, okay, based on your first try, so the day you did the full test, not the retake. So let's say that you did the test in January 2023 and you did the retake in February 2023. It counts from the time that you did the full test, not the retake. Okay, just so you know that. Okay, so it starts on the day of the full test. Okay, okay. Some people are asking about the price, right? Okay. The IELTS test is about what? 450, 470? I'm not sure now. Australian dollars. The retake will cost 259 Australian dollars. Okay, so what they said is about 2/3 of the price of the test. Okay, and then some people questioned that, and I said, well, there are 4 skills. If I'm only gonna do 1 skill, I should pay a fourth. However, what they mentioned is that there's a lot of work behind assessing, okay, the test and everything, and then getting people to check your test and just that one part. So it's not cheap. So they decided to have at 259. So that's the price, okay? It's cheaper than doing the full test, okay, guys? And again, I just feel that just if you've done the IELTS test, okay, even if you haven't done the IELTS test yet, you're about to do it in the future. If you get a little bit anxious during exams, right? Just imagine sitting the whole exam again, right? Just to do that one part. Okay, so if you have the opportunity, just go do what you have to do and go home. I think you're likely to be a bit more relaxed. All right, like for example, I have a student who recently she got a 9 in speaking, 9 in reading, I think 8 in listening, and 6.5 in writing. Of course, she was devastated, but I helped her, and then she did the test again, and she managed to get a 7.5 in writing, which was amazing. But then she got lower scores. I think she got about 7. It's not a low score, but a lower score in the other parts of the test because she was focusing so much on the writing, and then she didn't care about the other ones. She could combine the exam, so that was good. But so that's what I'm saying, okay, guys? So if you could just go there and focus on one thing, I think that's extremely helpful, okay? And like I said before, even the way you study for the exam now, okay, that might change a little bit just because you know that if you don't perform well in one part, you are able to do just that one part again, okay? So let's just think about that, okay? And so as I mentioned before, it's at the moment is only available in IDP in Melbourne, okay? But what they said is that if you do your test at a test center where the retake is possible, let's say that you are not at this city at the time when you want to do the retake, you can do the retake at another IELTS test center where the retake is also possible. Okay, so just so you know that that's a possibility too. Okay, so because maybe once it's more worldwide, maybe that would be important for you. Maybe you are at one location one day and another location the other day. All right, so that would be good too. Okay, so the certificate, because that's the most important thing, right? That's what we want in the end of the day. That piece of paper, it says that you get the score, you got the score that you need to achieve whatever you want to achieve, right? So when you do the full test, you will get the certificate like you would always get, okay? But then if you fail one part and you want to do just that one specific part, you will apply, and then you will get a new certificate, okay? So you will have that first one and your second one. But in that second one, you will have your score, your second score, right? And it will say retake under it. Okay, so that one will tell whoever is looking at it, whoever needs it, that that was a retake. And there will also be a box with some information, and the institution that you're giving your scores to will be able to access your previous scores too if they want to. Okay, so that's something that I think would be important for you to know. Okay, so you basically get two different two different score sheets, right? The very first one, and then a second one with your score updated, but it will say retake on it, just so they know it was a retake. I don't think it's a big problem. Well, the most important institution, which is like Australia and some universities, they are already accepting the retake. Okay, and I think that everyone will accept the retake. Okay, and I think that's something pretty cool that the IELTS did. Okay, just allowing people to redo that one part of the test. Okay, because a lot of people, they get the score. Okay, so most of my students get the score they need the first time, so they don't do the IELTS twice. Okay, but if you do have to do it, okay, just like saving that much money, you know, not going through the whole experience again, doing the whole thing again. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, pretty interesting. Oh, also it's available for general and academic. Okay, doesn't matter if you're gonna do the general IELTS or the academic one, you could do it for both. Okay, and yeah, and another thing is that I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad. Okay, you tell me your opinion later, but they don't have specific tests for the retake. Okay, they don't create a specific retake tests. It's just like any other IELTS test. Okay, so the one that they use for the people who are gonna do the full test is the same one that they use for the people with the retake. Okay, so I don't know if you think that's good or bad. I think it's good because it's standardized, all right? But one thing that it got me thinking, right, is the fact that, you know, sometimes, especially when it comes to the writing, you know, everybody knows that the writing is the tough part of the IELTS test. And let's say that on that day, when you did the full test, you got a topic that you're not very good at. Some of my students have been struggling with the advertising. The advertisements, I don't know why. But people have been struggling with this topic, right? And then let's say that on the day of the full test, you did that one and you got that question in the writing. And it's very unfortunate. Maybe you do go home a little bit upset, thinking, oh my God, I probably didn't get the score I need because I got this topic that I don't like. And then you do the retake. And let's say you are, I don't know, a doctor and the topic is health. And then you smash it and you get an amazing score. That's something that got me thinking, you know, maybe you were just unfortunate that on the day of the full test, you got a topic that you're not very good at. And then you do it again and you get a score you need. Or just with the reading, let's say with the reading, you know, you're doing the academic, those really long texts, and the last one is a tough one and you don't get the score you need. And then you do it again and the last test is an easier one for you. Okay, so yeah, because with the IELTS test there's such a variety of topics, right? So I think that just maybe being able to get a different topic would be nice. Yesterday I was teaching an IELTS class in the morning, and one of my students said, so we were talking about writing, and I said, so what's the problem? And then two of them mentioned, my main problem is the topic. You know, the writing, I'm not too bad at writing, but if the topic I don't know, it's really hard for me to write. But that's everybody, okay, guys? But on the day of the exam, it would make a huge difference if you did get a topic that you're good at. I always give the example of a student who was always getting sixes in writing, 6, and then one day she did a test and the topic was education and she's a teacher, so she got a 7. You're like, what? Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, so just this retake will give you the opportunity to actually be able to experience that again and maybe get a topic that you're pretty good at. Okay, then what else I have to do? Yeah, okay, yeah, so again, one of the most important things. So why should you consider redoing doing the one skill? Okay, so let's say, oh, should I do the one skill or should I do the full test again? Well, guys, definitely, okay, if you didn't get the score you need in one part of the test, go ahead and just do the retake, the one skill retake. Okay, you can save some money. Okay, so the full test is almost $500. The retake is $259. So that will save you some money there. Okay, it will save you time. You don't have to stay there for 3 hours and then come back for the speaking test. You go there and you just do that part and that's it. Okay, like I mentioned before, it will be more relaxed because basically you're gonna be walking in, doing just that part that you need to do and walk away. That's it. Okay, then it is a little bit more flexible also because then you can choose the time that you do it. Okay, and then also when it comes to flexibility, it would be the fact that some people will fail different parts of the test and you can retake any of those parts, but it's just one skill. Okay, you cannot take 2 skills. Okay, and like I mentioned before, it will be the same as you would be doing a full test. Okay, guys, there's absolutely no differences. Okay, and I feel, well, the way maybe that I'm going to help my students now, maybe it will change a little bit also. Okay, and I think that the most important thing in all of this will be that maybe people will feel a little bit less pressured. Okay, guys, because think about it. Some people work really well under pressure. Okay, but when it comes to exams, they can be a little bit more difficult. Okay, so basically you will walk in, okay, and you will do the test, the full test. But if you don't feel good about one part, okay, if you're doing it and you feel, oh my God, I'm not so sure about this one, maybe you're not going to be as stressed because you will be able to, if you have to do it again, okay, you will do it again, but it's just one part. Okay, from my experience, guys, it's okay. Some people, they need a high score and they don't get it the first time around. That's fine, but most of my students who work with me, okay, we do a lot of practice and I tell them when they're ready. Okay, and usually they fail just one part. I hardly ever see people who are failing 2 parts or they need a 7 overall and they get 5 or 6s. Okay, so there's always one part, which is usually the writing, because most people struggle with the writing. Okay, so just this opportunity, okay, just knowing that, okay, if I don't do so well, I know exactly what I have to do, and getting the practice of the real exam also, it's very, very important. Okay, guys, so just, and the amount of money you're gonna save, you know, so yeah, it's pretty good. Guys, if you have any questions, you can pop the questions in. Okay, so yeah, just so most important things in my opinion. Okay, it's not all over the world yet. Okay, it's starting here in Australia. It will be in many different places soon. Keep checking the websites. Okay, keep checking the IELTS test center you're going to choose. Okay, if I were you, I'll definitely choose one that where you can do the One Skill Retake. Okay, once you do it, you have 60 days to try again, just one part of the test. Okay, trying that one part is 259 Australian dollars at the moment. Okay, and you get a new certificate with the score updated, and it does say retake in it, just so whoever needs your score, whoever's gonna look at it, knows that you retook that one part of the test. Okay, and yeah, and again, guys, it's gonna be very, very good for you. Yeah, and just thinking about the fact that you don't have to do the full test and the financial pressure too, right? Man, like how much money do you spend? Okay, some people spend doing the IELTS so many times. Okay, but one thing is, if you do the test and you do the retake, you can only do one retake per full test. So it's not like, oh, I did the full test and then I didn't get a good score for the speaking, and you do the speaking again, and then and if you not get the score you need, you do the speaking again. No, that doesn't happen that way. Okay, so you are allowed one retake per full test that you do. Okay, do you guys have any questions? Anything you'd like to say? Say how excited you are. Let me check my notes. I think I told you everything. Yeah, so they were pretty thorough with the information they gave us yesterday. But I thought I would share it with you as soon as possible, just so you know. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that it's not all over the world yet, but soon it will be. They are rolling it out pretty quickly, actually. They trialed in Melbourne, it did really well, and then they decided to go to smaller centers in Perth and in Adelaide. And then if that works, then they're gonna go to Brisbane, come to Brisbane and Sydney also. And then so the people that we talked to yesterday, they take care of the IELTS test in Australia, in Asia, in New Zealand, and yeah, so they are spreading it all over the place, guys. So soon everyone will be able to do the One Skill Retake. All right, cool. So that's me for today. Okie dokie. And if you have any questions, you can write it in the comments. You guys probably have my email, fabi@fabienglish.com. Okay, and you can send me an email. You can put in the comments here. You can send me direct messages, okay, with any questions that you might have. All right, okay. So I guess I will see you next time. All right.